Ladies and gentlemen, as always, welcome back to the BB-Scho. I'm your host, Beebs. I'm here with my co-host, Chen, and we're here for NBA Tuesday. We got a good lineup for you started today. We're going to kick it off with some around the league chatter, go through the latest news, highlights,
Mm.
and then we're also going to have a deep dive on the state of the Chicago Bulls right now, which I am excited for as a Bulls fan. Probably some Lakers talk mixed in there, and then a couple other teams we might want to touch on as conversation dictates. And then, as always, we have some better or worse who he play for perhaps the last time because we're running out of players. And then we're going to start to do a little bit more of who he played for, which we've decided is a completely and an endless encyclopedia of players.
It's more viable. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll never stop. I mean,
you can make it as difficult as you want. You don't have to say the draft year. You can,
exactly.
stuff like that. So, with that being said, I'll pass it to you. Let's, you know what? I'll give you what you deserve at this point. Lakers are 8-2, 8-2 in their last 10. Anthony Davis is going on a tear. Um, LeBron's kind of doing his thing, but really the emergence of the bench depth with the move to Russ and Anthony Davis is
Yeah.
what's impressed me the most. I'll let you take your victory lap. So go ahead.
I love that you just. I thought it was gonna be a struggle today, but I'm really glad that you're just allowing me to have this because, yeah, right away I was gonna come in firing and just point out that the Lakers are a half game behind the Timberwolves, who you said would be towards the top of the conference, and
Looking at I got the West. So comparative to the East, I got the West
Jazz fell
pulled up.
off, by the way, like big time.
They did, they
They're
did, but
already
like,
almost back in the play-in. Like, I mean, I can't say we didn't see that, but wow, that was
well, here's what I'm
really
gonna
quick.
say is like in the East, the Celtics are 20-5, the Bucks are 17-6, and it kind of tails off like that, and it
Right.
shakes out. The West is like, oh, we got this. The Suns are 16 wins. The Pelicans and the Grizz have 15. The Nuggets have 14. The Kings have 13. And the Clippers have 14. Then it's 13, 14, 12, 13, 11, 11. And then the
It's just
Lakers are
very mixed
10.
up.
It's so congested all the way down to the 14th seeded Rockets who are 7-17. So,
Right.
um, yeah, the West is wide open right now. I mean, the Lakers are 3 games back from the Warriors, and the Warriors are struggling too. So,
Yeah,
go
they
ahead. You
lost
can
Wiggins for a
continue.
while.
Yeah, they
That,
did.
that's
He's
that's
still
another
out, I
thing.
believe.
And obviously Towns going down for, I believe it's a minimum 4 weeks
I'm
with
excited.
calf injury
I must admit, I am excited to see if they get
without
better
Towns.
without him.
I personally, I'm going to call it now. I think they get worse. I think Gobert is vastly overrated. I think Towns has provided
Yeah, but
actually a lot more than people are seeing this year.
I
And
could
I
see
think they're
that,
just going to tail
or I
off.
could see Anthony Edwards erupting
That would be great. I think we've
now that
all
the
been
paint's a
like
little
waiting.
more open.
Yeah. Well, Gobert's always there. But, in terms of the Lakers' chances, the fact that you got the champions that you're only 3 games behind, just lost a guy. The team right in front of you, the Timberwolves, just lost Karl Anthony Towns. And even like the Suns, Chris Paul has not been very good. You're gonna pass the Jazz at some point. Like the path when I'm like, oh, don't say they're gonna, be a 3 seed because listen, I said at the beginning of the year and I'm still gonna stand by it. I actually think in this season, Anthony Davis especially needs to be spotlighted. He's currently having a better season than Giannis's last MVP year. And it's like he's got like 2.5 blocks a game on the season, not even like this recent stretch.
Oh, he's on
I
a
think
tear.
he needs to, like, if he keeps this up, he's an MVP candidate. Like, that needs to be acknowledged. And if that's how it's going to be with LeBron as the second option,
That's the way it was
I,
supposed to be. After they
right.
won in
And
the bubble, that's what we were saying. I was reminded from TikToks and ESPN and whatever throughout the week as he's just stacking good game after another. I'm just reminded of like, yeah, 2 years ago they won that championship, and it was like the Lakers were kind of like, "You're next. Like we're handing this to you as he ages," and he
yeah,
just hasn't played in 2 years, and so um, I'm still
it's
not
good to
super
see.
high on him. I'd like to see him stay healthy. I've always known he's. I mean, we've all could agree that he's as capable of this, but I'd like to see him stay healthy for the whole year. That's kind of where I'm at, and that's when I'll be a believer. in the Lakers. Obviously, I believe in them in the sense that, yeah, they're they're probably a playoff team, and I might have been wrong about that. But if they're going to keep this up, but
I
they
think
have
so.
no depth. Um,
I would say Russ on the bench is more depth
he
than you'd
helps.
expect.
He helps.
Like
Yes,
he's
he does
actually been
help
playing
that.
so well. The fact he can get kind of pretty much 20 and 10, like it's kind of what he's been doing lately. Off the bench, that's nuts. And the Clippers I mean, they're 14 and 9, I believe, have actually been getting that low key from John Wall. I don't know if it's 20 points, but I saw last night or so he had like 16 points and 16 assists. Right? I
Wow.
think it was 12. But the point stands is that when you get that production off the bench, where it's not even like just a starter, like we're thinking Tyrese Halliburton, he's got 10, 11 assists a game. You're getting high level production off the bench. Like that's as far as depth I think can go. And the Lakers have that. Plain and simple. I'm
Oh,
hoping
they
they
have it
make a
in
move
one
at the
player.
deadline.
They have it in one player, and I still
And
have
who's
questions
very
about the rest of
durable.
that
It was,
bench.
like
Yes,
Russ
Russ is
does
the only
not get
player that
hurt.
I like coming off the bench there. I still think the rest of that team is not designed very well, and I know they're shooting better. That was the number one concern, and but they're really good defensively, and
Yeah,
but that rides on Anthony Davis being healthy. So, um, well, I
they need
guess
more
what's your
shooting too.
ceiling? What's your ceiling for the Lakers at this point if they keep this up?
Well, if they keep this up, what needs to happen is they need to come and buy in at the deadline and get a shooter or two, like a Buddy Hield.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have heard for some reason, I'm not saying I'm going to buy it yet, but Gary Harris has been shooting close to 40% from three. I
Is he
guess
really?
teams really
Wow.
like, yeah, teams are really liking the what he's providing on the 3 and D, aspect. And that's what LeBron wins with. And I think having Davis in there as well, that could be a championship team, especially because I don't think the Warriors have a chance at stopping AD. I mean, are we really going to trust Draymond to do it? Personally,
It's
I
not even
don't think so.
honestly. It's not even the.
That's ceiling though. I'm not. I said three
That's
seed.
not the
I
team
still
that I
actually
think
like
that
the Warriors.
they would struggle with. I still would take the Warriors in a 7 game series, um,
Right.
but I just don't see the way things are shaking out right now. I don't see the Lakers being capable of beating the Nuggets. They're emerging as one
That
of
would
my
be an
favorites in the
interesting matchup.
West.
I would love the Michael Porter Jr. versus LeBron matchup because I'm actually not sure how that would go for 7 games. I think Anthony Davis would probably do. I mean, who do you think would do a better job on Jokic besides Giannis? Maybe Embiid.
Yeah, but Jokic. Well, what I'm getting at is Jokic brings so much to the floor in terms of distribution and facilitation. As big words, but I just think that the Nuggets are just that stout defensively. In a sense, I was looking at it from that aspect of Porter Jr. probably can do a decent job against LeBron as best as anybody. And I think that Jokic could slow down Anthony Davis, and that would be the marquee matchup. And I think that the Nuggets are just deeper. You could say the same thing about the Grizzlies, but I think the Lakers actually match up better against the Grizzlies, in my opinion. So,
I'd agree.
um,
I don't know if the
yeah,
Grizzlies actually have somebody good to guard LeBron. I mean, you're looking at probably Dylan Brooks or Kyle Anderson. I don't really like
I
that.
mean, if Jared or to guard LeBron, sorry. Yeah, I would agree. I don't think the Grizzlies match up well against the Lakers, but the Grizzlies are so deep off the bench that they could win those games
Very
just off of
true.
that.
Yeah, they beat the Heat with literally their bench. I mean,
Yeah,
Tyus Jones almost dropped 30. They're just, I would say they're very well coached. I think that's a very underrated um, thing about what they do. You kind of see everybody on that team gets involved in one way or another. But I don't know, man. I just think in terms of the Lakers, like obviously their ceiling at this point with LeBron and AD playing the way he is a championship team. But obviously they need some things to go their way, and
I
they
don't.
literally need to keep playing at this
Here's
rate. Like,
here's my problem with seeing the vision, and I think you'll agree with this. Is I don't see the Lakers now. You see them as potentially getting to the top four seed, which would negate what I'm about to say. But if the
right.
Lakers are a bottom four seed, okay, play in or even 5 and 6, I don't see them being able to beat three of the top four teams in the West to get to the finals. Does that make sense? Like I don't see them. I could see them beating any of them in a 7 game series, but beating the Nuggets and then the Grizzlies and then the Warriors, for example, or some variation of it. Throw the Suns
I
in there.
understand. You
Throw
think
the
at a certain
Pelicans.
point they're going to get figured out or worn out because I believe the
Yes, I think
age
they're
and
too.
injury factor
Yes.
is definitely of concern as much as it hasn't impacted them right now. And I don't like to make my predictions off, injury. I understand that just due to some
Well,
players'
this isn't even
careers,
more
like
so
Anthony
about
Davis,
injury
like
and more so about depth throughout a 7 game series where you're not the home court advantage and
right.
age fatigue, which is different from injury, but age fatigue towards the end of the season. That's durability, I guess, would be my. And LeBron's as durable as they come, as we've seen, but it just I don't know. It's a hard. What I'm getting at is being a high seed is so advantageous, and that's why they're better team. They are better teams, but that's why you just in 7 game series, it's different than football. I guess what I'm getting at. Where in football, it's like, oh, show up 3 times in a row, you're in the Super Bowl. The
Yeah,
Packers in 2010, right? If you just get
it's one
hot, right?
game.
It's one
Yeah.
game. Basketball, you got to go in, night out, and beat a team that is better than you. So if they get to a top 4 seed or even 5, you could argue, yeah, you have I think they have a chance. I still don't think they're the best team in the West or even a top 3 team in the West at that point, but I that argument gets negated, but I don't see that happen. So
Yeah, and we'll see as the season progresses. I'm actually assuming this team is going to get better in some capacity. I don't think
which
there's.
they
I
could
think there's
just
zero
yeah.
way they stay put at the trade deadline. Even if Russ doesn't get moved, I think just they're going to find a way to get somebody to add to this team. I don't think this roster is set the way it is, and I just when I'm looking in front of them, what team like when you're saying they're not going to be top 14, like currently the Warriors have their problems. The Suns
I think the
are doing all
Warriors are
right because
gonna
they're the Suns.
I think
But
the
you're like, yeah,
Warriors
the
will
Warriors
figure
are
it
going to be
out.
fine. Yeah, and I'm saying I think the Lakers are going to figure it out more than even like we put the
I'm
Mavericks up
assuming the
there.
Clippers get healthy. Actually, that's a bold assumption, but
That's yeah,
um, taking injuries out of the question, I would take the Clippers. They match up better against the Lakers, fully healthy with Kawhi actually playing more than 5 minutes a game. The
mm-hmm.
Nuggets, I already said. The Suns, look, they win a lot of games for a reason. They apparently match up
They're a
horribly
good
with
regular season
Luca.
team.
They match up horribly against Luca, but we'll see with the Sun. I think everybody's kind of in the sense now where the Suns are like this. They're almost like a college football team who goes 10-0 every year and loses their
Yeah,
bowl game because their conference is terrible, which is not true of the Western Conference. But like, I don't know how a team
yeah,
can be
but
so good in the regular season and then consistently show up against bad or good teams or great players and just not show up.
this is my hot take on the Suns though. Their backcourt is very overrated defensively. Like having Chris Paul and Devin Booker, if you go against a Luca or even like the Warriors, they'd have problems with. Ja, I think they didn't run into him, would have problems with. Like those guys are not good defenders. And so in the regular season, defense is soft. Like if you're good offensively, you'll make it far. You'll be a good regular season team. That's why those hyper efficient coaches like Mike Budenholzer, Steve Kerr with his like 3-point shooting, they go really good in regular season. Those are just things that it's just what it is. Like the Suns don't have that. Cameron Payne is not going to guard anybody. I think their backcourt stinks defensively. That's a hot take.
I don't think that's
I
a hot of a take. I don't think they're as bad as you're making them out to be, but they're definitely below average.
I think it's like
They
I would
don't
say in the
have
20s,
a
man.
they don't
It sucks to say, but
a perimeter defender to just who it might have been Jay Crowder,
and
but
he's not
he's not
playing.
with the team. So
Right.
they don't have that guy. They don't have, prior to his injuries, they don't have like Klay Thompson to go guard their best guard, right? They
No.
don't have, I don't know. I'm
Think about
running
that right
blanks.
now. Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson. Who's guarding all those guys on the Suns? You can't give me 3 defenders
Okay,
that
I could say
like
that about
it's
I could
just
say that about any team in the league, and they're not going to have enough guys to guard them. I mean, we're talking about one of
yeah,
the all-time great
Celtics?
rosters.
Celtics?
That's well, I mean, but they beat the
Marcus
Celtics,
Smart,
so
Jalen Brown, Jason
they
Tatum.
beat the
Like, yeah,
Celtics in 6. So
right. But I think there's a couple of like the playoff teams, the
maybe the
high end
Clippers,
playoff
maybe the
teams.
Clippers.
Very true. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, you know,
Even Reggie Jackson's
whoever
not
at point
terrible on
guard.
defense.
Yeah. John Wall's actually been all right this year too.
But yeah, I'm not here to talk bad about the Lakers right now. I think that I'm hesitant to crown them this. They could just be on a run here, and
Oh, it's early. It's
they could
early.
just fall off again. So, and I'd have to look. They're 8-2 in their last 10. I'd have to look at who they've beaten. I know they beat the Bucks, which was big time, but
Yeah.
we'll
Big win
see.
for them. Great
We'll
game by
see.
Anthony Davis.
Yes, yes. So let's pivot to some Chicago Bulls talk because I'm interested to see your thoughts here or hear your thoughts here because this is a team last year, and I'll just say this to start to kick the conversation off. The Bulls last year were number one in the East deep into the year and kind of caught the injury bug, but nobody really ever bought into them as a contender. Kind of like how we talk about the Suns in a sense right now. Even though the Suns, I would argue, are a better team than the Bulls were. But like when you pull up the Pelicans are 15-8, number 2 in the West right now, right? Like nobody really considers the Pelicans as a chance to come out of the West, right? So
They'll probably be a playoff team.
they caught the injury bug, haven't really gotten back, and now this year, DeMar went on, had the best year of his career, was an MVP candidate in my opinion. Arguably, in my opinion, if they'd have won more games, by definition of most valuable player, he should have been 1 or 2, in my opinion. The year he had last year was, I mean, the Bulls were nobody, as we're seeing now, without DeMar DeRozan. So in terms of value they bring to their team, he's never going to win the MVP. I get how the unwritten rules, he doesn't have those going for him, but best season, yeah, DeMar had the best season last year. So they're 9-14 right now, 12th in the East. 3-7 in the last 10 on a 3-game losing streak. In my opinion, and I'll let you go after this, but in my opinion, I blow it up. And that's all.
Wow. Yeah. The crazy part, and I hate to like just be totally agreeable because in terms of the show, it's better when we have a debate, but that was my exact thinking, man. Like, blow it up. You are currently the way they're seated, I believe in the 6th or 7th spot for the draft. And if
they
you
just
get rid of
have not.
DeRozan and
They have just
Levine,
not drafted well since D Rose's injuries.
oh no. And you don't need a draft well if you get the number 1 pick because you just take Wemby. And I'm saying if you get rid of Levine and DeRozan as soon as possible, that 6th, 7th spot will turn into the 1 right away. We saw the Rockets compete and beat the Sixers. Like some of these younger teams, the Pistons have Kate coming. They're gonna be lower, but they're still competing. I think if you take those 2 guys out, it's like Drummond, Vucevic, Kobe White, like that's who's left.
So the only
And
guys I
that team
really
would be
like,
number
I
1, in
like,
my opinion.
I like Io DeSumo. I think he was a good pick for where they grabbed him.
He's
And
been all right
he's
this
been all
year.
right. He's overperformed in my opinion. They missed on Chris Dunn when they made that Levine trade. He was huge part of that deal, and he just did not develop. They missed on Lauri Markkanen until randomly this year he decided to come out on a tear. But they missed on that draft pick. Vooch, I think that I look at him and I think that
I think I'd rather have Wendell Carter at this point.
yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I think
That's what
that's the
sucks.
key mistake of the construction of this team. And it sucks to say that because I actually liked the trade when it happened. I think that I saw the vision and I still see what they were thinking with it. But
Yeah,
it
it
just
was
feels like
aggressive.
Wendell Carter has turned out better. Vooch is just, I think he's a liability on defense, and
Yeah.
that's what they need.
He's a score first guy. It's like you have Levine and DeRozan, some of the top 2 like elite scorers in the league. Top 2 in like duos in that sense. Like obviously you think like Steph, KD, but That's what they're known for. You don't need a center that's going to shoot it and get you 24, 25 points. You need
Yeah.
Wendell Carter.
You
And so that
need
was a
in
big
today's
whiff.
league, if you're a five who is not a strong interior defender, I'm not a fan of you. And look, as a
Liable. Yeah.
Bulls fan, I like Vooch. I think he's a solid player, but I think that they just got him and he passed his prime. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Levine, I mean, how old is he? I still like him as a player, but
Probably not as old as you think. I think probably around like 27 or 28.
he's
Like it's
27.
yeah, like
When it comes to
he's got some good
Levine,
years left. It's just right now he's definitely in a slump. I'm not gonna fight you on that. And maybe
yeah, but
you'll let
do you
him
see
play
him
up his
making
value a
that
bit.
step to superstar that you've been kind of waiting for 3 years now? Or is he just going to be a good
Nah,
scorer?
that's just not really him. I think he's honestly what Jordan Clarkson strives to be. I know he gets brought up way too much on this show for some reason, but like in terms of just Levine is a very good scorer in terms of finishing mid range. He's a 3 level scorer as a
I
guard,
mean,
but as you
looking
brought
at
up, he's a
his,
lot liable defensively, man.
he's not horrible defensively, but I do agree he's
He's
not
not
great.
great. He's like 6'4". I mean, he could
So here's the
honestly be a
issue with
point guard on
Levine.
some teams.
Here's the issue with Levine. In 2020, 2021, so 2 seasons ago, he was averaging 27 points a game, which
He's at like
is
20 this year.
he's 22 this year. Last year was
Okay.
24. He played in 67 games last year, 58, and he's played 19 this year. So, um,
Mm.
yeah, I know they're easing him back from injury. And look, the other question mark we have on this Bulls team, and this is when they fell off the wall, is one is Lonzo Ball's return date, who was playing really well last year. His return is like nobody knows when he's coming back. I literally you can Google when will Lonzo Ball return. There's no answer. There's no timetable publicly about when this guy's going to come back from a diagnosed in January bone bruise and small meniscus tear 12 months ago.
What? Are you still there?
So, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I just for some reason it just froze on me. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
I just got
So,
yeah.
as I was saying, there's no timetable for Lonzo Ball's return here. 12 months or 11 months ago, he was diagnosed with a bone bruise and small meniscus tear. He has not appeared since. That was in January of last year, this year, but January of last season. And you can Google when will Lonzo Ball come back? There's no date. There's no timetable. There's no like 3 to 4 months. There's no like they're optimistic he will play this season.
That's bad. I'm sorry, that's just bad.
And he was a huge part of their success last year. The other one I'm curious about is Caruso. He's playing, right? I saw him
I
the other
believe
night. I
so.
swear. I swear I
I don't
saw
know
him
if
the
he's
other
just
night.
been as good.
No,
And
he's
he
definitely taken a turn down, and he's supposed to be one of their better defenders. Yeah, he's day to
yeah,
day with an ankle injury. That's what I'm thinking of. Um,
right.
he's been this year as
They need
well.
him to be
So
better.
comparative to last year, I mean, he's averaging 2 less points a game, averaging less assists, less rebounds, and obviously he's a defender. But it's
Like
he's been
everybody's having a down year,
yeah. And then I mean,
and that
let's look
just
at
can't really happen for a team.
and
I
pulling
think
up
the Rosen's, yeah, he's
Demar's
probably around the
numbers.
same.
He's finally seems to have hit a little bit of an age wall here. But last year he averaged 28 points a game. Now he's averaging 25,
Jeez.
roughly about 5 assists, and he's averaging one less rebound, but that's one rebound. So um, it just seems like across the
Hmm.
board there's a down. They're just down. They're missing Lonzo. They have no idea when he's going to come back. I would agree. Maybe it's not blow it up, but I think Demar's at that point where you trade him while he's still valuable. I don't think Levine's going to want to stay if Demar's not there. So you need to trade him too. And same thing with
I
Vooch. I don't get
love
much
the Bulls trade ideas. I hate to just cut you off like that, but you got to understand there's some really interesting things going around. Like people are saying Zach Levine with Luca would be insane. if you
Wow.
could find a way to package Russ and send DeMar, to the Lakers and get some, whatever the Lakers can send, you just give to the Bulls. I don't know really what you do with Vooch. I think your trade value, honestly, what you're gonna get back isn't gonna be as good. But the way DeMar plays, and like you mentioned, he's hitting that he's not gonna get better age point in his career.
Oh, Vooch is in a
I would take
contract
the
here,
gamble. Yeah. So
so
he'll
you
play
could
out
let
the
him
stats and
walk.
whatnot. Right. But I just think there's a lot of interesting scenarios there for teams that,
Those are good thoughts, man. Because if you
you
start to
know,
trade, I mean, they do have guys that
they could go full Thunder.
other teams would find very valuable. And it is
Yeah.
not in their MO and management's MO to go full Thunder, but I would encourage it because look, if they could find a way to get Victor Wembanyama, and I'm not saying even if it's a top 5 pick, man, to just get this franchise has had like before they went out and signed DeMar, made this move for Vooch to try and get in this win now mode. They
Right.
haven't
Zach LaVine
had,
was a trade
yeah,
as
they've been
well. Like,
terrible. So I mean, really, since D Rose's ACL injury, they've been spiraling and trying
yeah.
to reconstruct that. And finally, they moved on. There were some really bad years in there. And, last year they got hot, but I think we're in agreement. The best option right now is to blow it up. If this is what the product's going to be, a fringe play-in team, this is a problem.
Yeah.
you know,
I just think they get beat up defensively, especially in the
yeah.
playoffs. Like, big men will have a field day against this team. You even think if Lonzo's not playing, a lot of guards are gonna have a field day. Like, they're just not good defensively if Lonzo or Caruso are not at their game. And Lonzo's, again, currently not playing. So I don't like this team going forward. I think blowing it up is not only the best option, but it would be almost like, what would you do as a coach, as a GM? I think they'd have to look at the organization as like the DeMar DeRozan signing was a failure. The Vooch trade was a failure. You
I
gave a
wouldn't
lot of
say that.
picks and Wendell Carter Jr. Like, they
Oh,
really
Vooch was
kind of
definitely
missed the
that was a
mark.
miss. That was a miss. But when it
They were
comes to
trying to go all in and
Demar,
they missed.
It's hard to say that was a miss because of how great he really was last season. Because nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw him still having that value, and they got every bit of
Oh
value
yeah.
out of him. And so when it comes to Demar, I don't know. The question mark in my mind still if they stay healthy last year, if Levine stays healthy, if Lonzo stays healthy, um, the Caruso stays healthy.
Were they
The
getting
question mark is
past the
still
Bucks though?
no, no. But they are
You know?
maybe winning a playoff series against the Hawks last year, or the Knicks in the playoffs. They were bad last year. It was 2 years ago. They might
Oh,
win
that
a playoff
was,
series depending on who they
yeah.
can match up with. They could be a 4 or 5 seed in the East last year. This year, like I said, fringe play in. So why are you trying to be competitive? Just blow it up, man. Like, you
Right.
know, if you're not a top 6 team in your conference, top 7 team in your conference, who cares? I think you should just, you should be rebuilding. And right now they're not.
Yeah. Because if they keep it together, what's gonna happen is Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, as much as we, have talked about them and having down seasons for their respective careers, are still very good players. So they're going to win a couple games here and there, and they might go on a streak. And that's going to push them out of their current draft position. And just, if again, they get, like you said, a fringe playoff spot, they're just going to get bounced right away by one of the better teams like the Sixers, the Bucks, the Celtics. They have no shot against that
Yeah,
type
I
of
mean,
competition.
if
So
it
it serves no purpose to not,
the
I
move
think, blow it
the
up while the
move
value's still high.
the move you said that I really like is let's see if we can talk to the Lakers. I don't think they're going to trade Russ if he's going to keep playing this well because DeMar is not going to provide them off the bench what Russell Westbrook is, and
Mm-hmm.
that leaves them. If they're playing this well, they're not going to trade Russ. If they're struggling, they might. But the idea of taking on his terrible contract while gathering some picks to be bad and then potentially moving Levine on the same swing same week, whatever at the deadline, and just I don't even care. Just get picks. Um,
Right. See what the Mavericks got. I know they probably got a lot of picks. They
so
don't make a
yeah,
lot of moves lately. Like I love that idea of Zach LaVine and Luca. I think that would
I
be
do too. I mean, shoot, I didn't
Mavericks would
realize
be
Levine's
contender.
27. I
Yeah.
thought he was 28, 29 at this point. So it feels like forever he was winning that dunk contest, and a
Yeah.
couple knee surgeries later at least. So
Right. No, yeah, he's
I don't know. It is not a good time to be a
mm,
Bulls fan. I will say that. There's really not a lot of excitement around the franchise.
no, I'd have to concur. It's kind of looking like the past couple years, but we can pivot. I think we've been dreary enough about the Bulls. We can
Yeah, yeah.
get things a
Let's
little
do
more
some
energized here.
who he play for because I did some prep this week. I'm ready to finally get you stumped. So I'll start it off easy. I think you're gonna get this. I think you're gonna get this. This was the easiest one. I got three guys for you. So this guy has been with his team since 2020. I know, but he's only played in 60 games. His career average is 7 points. So he doesn't play a lot, but he's been with the team for a while. Been in the league. Let me look this up really quick. Been in the league, I believe, for 7, 8 years, I want to say. But who he play for? Willie Herman Gomez.
Pelicans.
Yeah. All right. I figured you'd get that one. But this is the thing is we're running out of. He's been in the league since 2016. We're running out of guys. So
No.
that'll be the easiest one.
Yeah, things are getting desperate here, and that's why I think if you don't get this first guy, no shot for the next two. Uh, who he play for? Thaddeus Young.
Oh, oh! Why did the Pacers come to mind?
It's a great, you know, idea.
Oh, I think
Definitely.
it's who did he play for? Do you know who he played for last year?
I think that would spoil it.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Pacers. That's my guess.
That is a good one. He spent a good amount of time with the Pacers. He's currently playing for the Raptors.
The Raptors.
Yeah, and
The
I
other team
actually
I thought
think
of was the Celtics.
so. Last year he played with the Bulls, and then he got traded to the Raptors.
Okay,
So I
that
felt
shows
if I
how
give
much
you
I watch
that
my team.
tidbit, yeah, yeah, and actually a lot of Bulls fans, I guess, really like Thad. They thought he was like their low key MVP type of deal.
Yeah.
He's a high IQ player, but no, I'm curious to hear your next one.
All right. So this guy won a championship last year with the Warriors. Pretty household name. I look, we're getting to that point where I wouldn't be surprised if he got this, but I felt pretty proud of digging this one up. So who he play for? Otto Porter.
Oh no.
Spent a lot of time in Washington, but he's on a new team this year. Been around since 2013. Oh, and he's only played in 8 games this season.
Is it the Nets?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
No.
I don't
He's
know who
with
he
the
plays for.
Raptors.
Oh yeah, I think I had Nets or Hornets was who I was debating
Let's
between.
go. I
That's
got him.
crazy,
I
man.
got him. Yeah,
Wow,
man.
he just slipped through the cracks. I just completely forgot about Otto Porter as a player. I remember watching him, but I didn't know where he's playing this year, man.
I didn't. He played in
Jeez.
63 games last year for the Warriors. I vaguely remember that, and he won a championship. So,
Fair enough.
um,
Fair enough.
yeah, he hasn't played on the same team 2 years in a row since he was with Chicago in 2019 or 2020. So,
That's wow, that's a wild stat. This is again really getting brutal out here. This guy is season-old center. Very like probably one of the worst journeymen I can think of. Surprising still in the league. Who he play for? Dwayne Dedman.
Oh man, this is a complete shot in the dark.
It's
I
I
can't even remember the last time I remember him on a team, but I know his name.
it,
So how does that even make
yeah,
sense? I can't
it's
even think
it's
of what a
Kings for a
what a
while, then like the
journeyman.
Spurs. Yeah,
I want to say the Heat came to mind. I don't know why, but I'm going with the Heat.
wow, that is an incredible guess.
No
I
way!
mean, that is he's
No
currently like
way!
he actually is their backup center. Like he gets significant
Oh,
minutes.
if he's playing, then that's probably why I thought of them. I can't believe I just
I
got that.
guess, man,
Let's
but like he's
go.
33. I didn't know he was
I mean,
alive, to be honest.
I'm not saying I was 100% confident in that guess, but
No,
I'm
hey, no, it's
saying
hey, you
if
got
he's
it right.
actually getting minutes, it's
I
probably
think
why
we're
they took
currently
him.
tied right now.
Let's
This is
go.
history right here.
All right, all right. I'm feeling good now. This is a guy that he's been around. Well, let me find out what year he was drafted. All right, drafted in 2010. Been around a long time. He's 34
Wow.
years old this year, and he's on a new team, and he's only played in 10 games. So who he play for? Ish Smith.
No, no.
No.
Oh man,
What did you have him or
I
no?
I just
Oh, you don't know.
I thought about looking him up, but I was like, nah, that's crazy. Like I have no idea where he's been playing.
Hasn't
I'm gonna
started a
say the
game in 2 years.
Hornets.
He's in
Final answer.
Denver.
That's incredible. Yeah.
Let's go,
I don't even
two in a
think I've seen him
row.
play. That's
Let's
crazy.
go.
It's
Oh
one of
my
my worst
gosh.
performances yet, but to be honest, I don't know if he gets this guy. I mean, again, just classic garbage journeyman. Who he play for? Noah Vonleh.
I just saw this. Oh, and I'm not gonna remember.
Oh
Oh my, I
no.
feel like I just saw him.
Again, has been getting minutes for some reason.
Why do the Pacers keep coming to my mind?
Mm.
Pacers and Celtics, for some reason, always come up when we do this. I guess I'll go with the Pacers. I'll go with my gut. I'll go Indiana Pacers.
That is unfortunately incorrect. Do you all know where he played?
Is it Boston?
It is Boston.
No, no, you got to be kidding me.
You did say them, so I gotta
Oh,
give you credit there. They were
that doesn't count. We can't
probably
count that.
a coin toss in your head at that point, because I mean, who knows where Noah Vonleh was playing?
Noah Vonleh. How long's
It's
he
really
been
just because
around?
he's. Oh boy, I want to say at least 8 years,
Noah
but maybe it's
Vonleh, basketball
generous.
reference. Been around since 2014.
Oh,
Has
I might be right on.
never played. Oh, he was in China last year.
Oh,
Oh man,
nice.
what a poll. He started a game this year for the Celtics. Never played in Indiana though. So that's crazy.
Yeah, but
That's
that's
crazy.
kind of why this is gonna be the last episode of who he played for,
Who he
played
played
for,
for. The
play,
last installment.
because
We're
yeah,
out of players, man.
that's we're done.
It was a good fun go.
It was a good
But
run. We can't
yeah,
find more Delis or Thad Youngs. Like it's over.
there's a very limited supply.
Yeah, it was a good run.
So, all right, let's do some better or worse. This is always a fun exercise, and I got
Oh,
I got an interesting guy. I'm very excited for this guy for you. So I'll go first. Better or
yeah.
worse than De'Aaron Fox? Kind of
Oh yeah.
playing really good right now. Playing the best year of his career. So I'm gonna kickstart it. We'll start it out relatively easy. I think you're gonna say he's better than Chris Paul
Okay. Yeah, currently,
currently.
absolutely.
I figured. Okay. Um, This is where things get very interesting. I've got a very interesting collection of names here. Starting, we'll go next. I want to see how good you think he's playing. So next is another guy who's playing really good that we've discussed today, Russell Westbrook.
No.
All right. All
No.
right.
No, not sorry. Russell Westbrook is still a bench player.
All right.
We can't
How about your guy Drew Holiday?
Ooh. See, oh man, that's where it gets interesting. I would say
That
just because
Milwaukee bias comes
defensively,
in.
yeah, and this might be a little Milwaukee bias, but Drew Holiday is a championship point guard, and De'Aaron Fox is not. And
Oh
I
my
mean, Drew
god.
Holiday defensively is just better. So even though De'Aaron
So
Fox is the
now he
best player
cares
on
about.
this
Hey,
current
everybody,
team,
listen up. Now he cares about defense when we bring up a Milwaukee player. Every other time we've ever done this, it's all offense.
defense
Let's bring up a
is
Milwaukee player. The
important to
first thing out of his mouth is
when the offensive bag is similar, I think it's important to mention.
what? I'm taking Fox, but I'm not surprised you did that.
Of
All right.
course.
How about another championship point guard then? Or I mean, he hasn't won one, but has been there. Kyle Lowry, who's struggling
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah, I'll say I would if I'm the Heat, I'd love to have De'Aaron Fox tomorrow.
Very valid
Love
point.
it.
Couple more. Jalen Brunson.
I think this is closer than people need to understand. Like Jalen Brunson is very good this year. Even though the Knicks have been like the fact they've been middle of the road considering the rest of their team stinks. I mean, I'm really a fan of Jalen Brunson, but De'Aaron Fox is better. Like as a player, he's been the Kings should be at the bottom of the conference right now, and they're in firmly in the playoffs currently.
Okay.
So De'Aaron
Okay.
Fox for sure.
How about Tyrese Halliburton?
That's where I'm gonna have to switch it and say Tyrese Halliburton. I really think he's working with less. I mean, he got
That's
traded
fair.
for Sabonis, you know, like Sabonis is gifted to Fox. Halliburton doesn't have that, and he's playing out of his mind. Currently,
All
he's
right.
hurt, but I think once he comes back, he's still going to be better than Fox.
Okay. How about former defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart?
Yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of Marcus Smart. I
Oh, you're
mean,
not a huge fan of defense, except when it comes to
I
Drew
I,
Holiday.
I value it, but like Drew Holiday is actually like a pretty good offensive player, and like Marcus Smart is just he's a bad offensive player. Like that's really what it comes down to, and that's I gotta factor that in. And I'm sorry, I just think De'Aaron Fox. You're just like a Celtics fan. If you had a three-headed monster of De'Aaron Fox, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown, it's way better than having
So the way
Marcus
you're
Smart.
making this sound right now is Fox is probably like 7 or 8 on your list of point guards then, right now?
We'd have to go down the list and consider who's
Because
eligible
I
for
did
a
not
point guard
prep
and
any
whatnot.
guys
But
like Steph or Luca or Ja or
which
because
he
I
does
knew
not
the answer.
surpass.
Yeah,
Right.
because I knew
He
the
does not
answer.
surpass him. But he's like probably in that like I would yeah, that's kind of a fair spot. I'm not even
Okay.
gonna lie to you.
So then last guy, I'm assuming I know the answer. But another young guy who's emerging, Tyrese Maxey.
No. Yeah, I love Tyrese Maxey, but
He is a solid defender as well. So
yeah, he's just not De'Aaron Fox.
I would agree, but I have a I, he's higher than you put him a
He's
lot
good.
higher than I thought you would. You put him higher than I
He's
thought you
good.
would.
Yeah.
So I do not have. I guess SGA.
No, actually SJ is like
So
he
that would be
needs to
the.
be
I think
talked
that's
about.
the line then.
I think that is the line. I think he's probably borderline top five point guard, maybe. We're
SGA
currently
I
or
would put
De'Aaron
SGA
Fox.
top five.
SGA is a top five
He is
point
top
guard.
five.
Yeah.
So then you would. I'm a Steph, Luca, SGA,
Yep.
Ja.
Ja.
Can you think of another one? Halliburton, you said was
Yep.
better than Fox. You have to put him in
Yep.
front.
And so yeah, I think he's probably like 6,
We're
maybe 7
probably
if there's a
we're
guy I'm
probably
forgetting.
missing somebody who's really
Just it's
good.
somebody probably close
Kyrie
day. Right. Yeah, like healthy Kyrie is definitely better.
Okay.
Um, so that's what I mean. He's like fringe. He's definitely in the top 10. That's solidified though, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll
All right.
we'll, we'll
That
change
concludes
it.
our. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you Z Levine.
Yeah. Levine.
Huh? Huh? Because that'll be a we got some names, and I'm really just kind of curious on the spectrum of things. Marcus Smart, we'll just copycat you real quick, better or
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah. You know me, what I value. So
Right. So I'm
I'm
just
going
curious.
Marcus Smart.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
So okay,
This is gonna make things entertaining.
here's let me explain this though, because if I am the who's the worst team? If I'm the Rockets, who would I rather have on my team? Who's going to win me more games? Probably Zach Levine because he's going to score more points because there's nobody around him. But when you talk about championship and like winning basketball, Levine has never been anywhere close. So as a number one option, Levine has been, in my opinion, really bad. Then he became the number two when DeMar came, and he's been worse and not healthy. And then Smart, he's a championship contending player. I mean, he's a defensive player of the year. So yeah,
Mm,
there's my logic there. Obviously, Levine's a better scorer, but Levine is not a better defender, not a better facilitator, and not a better winner. So
fair take. Fair take. Um, we'll keep it in the defensive category. Better, or worse than Drew Holiday.
and so I mean, theoretically, I'd have to say Drew Holiday if I'm going to stick to my guns because everything I just listed still applies. So I guess I'll go Drew
Fair.
Holiday just because.
Okay. What about Chris Paul?
See, now it's a completely different argument, and especially this year, it's definitely Levine. Um,
Okay.
you could go back 2 or 3 years and or maybe like Thunder Chris Paul, and it's hard to argue that he wasn't a better player because of what he was bringing to the table. But I don't even know if Chris Paul is averaging like 14, 13 points this year.
It's been pretty bad.
Yeah,
It's
it's
been
been,
bad.
and then that goes
No
with the
doubt.
defensive liability. So yeah, Zach Levine.
Okay.
We slated
Clay
Chris Paul a
Thompson.
lot on this podcast. I noticed.
Yeah, I hate to be a guy, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think he's been far overrated in his career, but that can be a topic for another day. Clay
Clay,
Thompson, yeah,
Clay for sure. Look, at this point, they might be on equal footing defensively, in my opinion. And obviously, Clay was a much better defender. And then I think Levine still maybe has the edge as a scorer, but the championship basketball comes into play, the winning. And I, I haven't seen Levine score 40 points yet this year. So
wow,
it's a tough argument.
okay,
Not very high on
um,
Levine, if you can't tell.
yeah, man, like this is kind of real. I feel like I know the answer though. Better, or worse than CJ McCollum.
I'd probably go CJ.
Right? Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I gotta see if I can get low. Mike Conley.
Okay, yeah, I'm taking Zach
Okay.
Levine.
Okay. All right.
I
All right.
if we'd have done
There's some
if you'd have
sort of
done
line.
Demar if you'd have done Demar, I think much more highly of Demar DeRozan than I do exactly at this point. So
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I mean, I
obviously,
guess
as I
that's.
should,
I'll save for next time.
but like
I mean,
even in the
I
sense
knew
of like
for
as a
sure
Bulls
not to
fan,
ask
I would
that
have said
question.
something stupid for DeMar DeRozan probably. So
Yeah. No. Fair take.
yeah,
Fair
the
take.
Levine, he's just never available. There's just a lot of guys that I would rather have that are more consistent and healthy and better team basketball players than Zach Levine. So I'll flip it back to
Fair
you
take.
though,
Yeah.
if that concludes your
Oh yeah.
exercise. Here's a guy won a championship, and we talked about Fox being 6 or 7 on the point guard list. I'm interested to see we start to get down there, start to nail down this
Oh boy.
starting point guard list. Where are you going to put Fred Van Vliet? Solid defender, average scorer, decent facilitator, pretty average all around, in my opinion.
I was about to say I would
Just a classic
boost
77 to
boost up the
81
score a
overall.
bit and take back the defense a bit. I mean, bro is 6 foot. He's essentially just a younger Chris Paul. So I don't
Well, he's
have
a better
that
defender than
high.
Chris Paul in my mind.
At the current stage, yes, but around the
So,
league,
anyways,
debatable. Let's get into it. Yeah.
yeah, he's just your classic 76 to 80 overall player. It's just
Yeah.
very average. So starting it off, this is a guy who's we're gonna get low here. We're gonna get low,
Oh
and I'm gonna see how
boy.
low you go. But I guess we'll start off. We'll start off nice. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. I don't have it written down, but Chris Paul,
Hmm.
better or worse? Fred VanVleet.
Nah, yeah, I like Chris Paul still. Chris
Interesting.
Paul is more established in the playoffs. Fred VanVleet, as much as sometimes he can give you a good game, can he give you a really bad game? And Chris Paul will do that occasionally, but for the most part, he's solid. He's got
Okay.
his consistent mid-range game to go to. And yeah, I just trust him a lot more than I do Fred VanVleet.
Okay. How about Reggie Jackson?
I would rather have Fred VanVleet. Yeah,
Okay. All right. We're
I
finding the
think
line. We're finding the line.
Reggie Jackson's good, but he's not that good of a scorer, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, I have a guy written down. Seeing what you said about Reggie Jackson, I'm assuming you're going to take Van Vliet, but Markel Fultz.
Yeah. He had a
Okay.
decent
He was
night
like the
the other
bottom.
day,
He was
but
like the bottom of the run for me. Like, guy, if he doesn't say anybody, I'm definitely going to get him to say Van Vliet's better than
right.
Markel Fultz. So,
Yeah, sorry,
very
no
interesting.
shot with that.
Interesting. Climbing up the ladder a little bit, Jamal Murray.
It's entertaining. Jamal Murray, though, I would have to say he's just better athletically, really just better as a scorer. Um, Even if they're more the same defensively, Jamal Murray's just bigger. I believe he's like 6'4". Fred VanVleet in this day and age at 6 foot, it's hard. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to
No, you're not wrong.
hate on the dudes that are balling at 6 foot, 6'1", but
I got another short guy
people
for you
love the big
then.
guards. Yeah,
Another
I'm
short guy
glad
for
to
you.
hear it.
Darius Garland.
Yeah, I like Garland more. Just
I
more
would
explosive. I just, he's a better scorer. I mean, gives you more defensively night in, night out. Like I just think he's all around better, to be honest with you.
Okay, what about the other former Cavs point guard, Colin Sexton, now with the Jazz?
That's close, and I just think Colin Sexton still has yet to get back to his full self. I think even with him being at his full potential, it's still a debate, and I don't even
Okay,
think he's there yet. So I'm gonna take Fred VanVleet.
okay. Two more. I feel like I'm actually split right down the middle right now on yeses and nos, which is good. Uh,
Yeah, that's been very
Spencer
entertaining.
Dinwiddie.
Ooh, I would rather have Fred VanVleet. I think he's a more capable scorer,
Okay,
and maybe that's just Mavs bias in terms of like that's what they need. But yeah, I just think he just does more for your team than Spencer Dinwiddie, in my opinion.
okay. How about this guy hasn't played yet this year, but well-known player, LaMelo Ball.
I thought you could say Lonzo. To be honest, that would have been an interesting one. I like Lamelo more.
Okay, how about
Actually, a
Lonzo? How
lot
about
more.
Lonzo?
That's where it gets dicey. I would say if healthy, it's Lonzo. You know what I mean? Like he's just a big, 6'6" as a point guard is what teams love to see. He's gotten a lot better shooting the ball since he's gotten in the league, and you know what he's going to give you defensively. So personally, I would take Lonzo Ball, but oh man, Van Fleet's definitely a better scorer for sure.
All right. I have a couple other guys written down, but I'm assuming based on your other information, I think I have your answers. So I had Cade Cunningham written down. I'm assuming you're going to take Cade. And then
Yep.
I have Brogdon written down, but I'm assuming you're going to take Brogdon, knowing you and your Bucks bias. I guess I'll throw out one last guy, Kyle Lowry.
Van Fleet. I'm just very not high on Kyle Lowry right now.
That's
I
very
don't think he was
fair.
good last year,
I
and
wasn't going to say
he's
him, but it
getting
was from
worse.
Jack.
You
So,
know?
all right, that concludes Fred Van Vliet, better or worse. That was good. That was hard for me to find
No,
you're
it was very compelling conversation for me.
yeah. To me, it sounds like you got him like 20, 22,
Yeah,
19,
that's
maybe
sounds
somewhere
about
in there.
accurate. Like, starting point guard, but not crazy good. Um, my last better or worse guy for you for the day, Draymond Green, which is gonna be a hot topic. I
Yeah,
mean, just the namesake. And
he's very controversial when it comes to this stuff.
yeah,
Ranking
I'm
him.
just it's tough ask. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm really curious based on how high you hold
Okay, so
defensive players in regard.
when it comes to this, I need to preface before I get clipped. Um, we are talking peak playoffs, Draymond. He has been struck. That's how
No,
I'm going to interpret
no.
this.
We are talking current, like
As
we've been
in
doing all
tomorrow.
year.
Okay, but
Yeah,
like, 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 like,
like
like.
we're rolling out starting lineups, and Draymond is in your starting lineup tomorrow. How are you feeling about it compared to who I'm about to give you?
But like, what I'm getting at is, I feel like Draymond is one of those guys that like elevates in the playoffs and kind of
And that's
sometimes
how you feel, yeah. If
coasts.
we're talking like Jimmy Butler, like you have that kind of like
Yes, that's a great. That's
edge
exactly the
to
name I
him.
was looking for.
Yeah,
Like,
we can give that preface to the audience for sure.
so. Okay, go
We're
ahead.
talking tomorrow, you're playing a major game. All right.
Okay, big night tomorrow.
Yeah.
Stage. Draymond.
Um, better or worse, who's gonna come in hot? Jaylen Brown.
Oh my gosh. Oh. See, and this is where I'm at. This is so hard for me. I guess I have to go to at some point offense matters, and Jaylen Brown will
I
get you
would hope
25
so.
to 30.
I just knew this would be an argument.
But the problem is I'm one of those people who thinks that Draymond Green is one of the best defenders of all time, and I don't think the Warriors win a championship without him. Well, the KD teams might have, but the other ones no. They definitely don't win last year, and they definitely don't win or win 73 games without him. He's been a very integral part. Um, I just don't get the well, and you would agree with this. The people that come out and they're like, "Oh, what does he do? Like he's useless." I hate that take. I hate
Yeah,
that
that's
take.
not true. That's not true for sure. But I think there's also a line.
There is a line, and I'd have to iron out top defenders all time, but I put him in the top 10. I'm not going to say something crazy like top three, but
Yeah, that we can honestly, that's gonna be an off-season conversation, I
yeah,
feel
I'd have
like.
to iron it out
Like,
and see
yeah, because
get the names in front of me.
we could really get that going, but we'll keep the ball rolling here. Better or worse than DeMar DeRozan.
This year, Draymond's struggling this year too. I guess it's DeMar. If Draymond was having a good year, I'd consider it, but DeMar isn't. Really, the question is, there. Everybody you name is going to give me more offensive input and or more offensive output, and it's a matter of like, are they a really really poor defender or are they average? Because usually, if they're average, I'm probably going to go with the other player. So I guess I'll say DeMar this year. But no, DeMar in a big game is pretty good too. So DeMar.
Okay. Okay. What about better or worse than Zion?
See, that's where playoff experience. There's a level to Zion that's so unproven.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a level if he right now if we were playing tomorrow night in a regular season game Zion, but like we said, prefacing big game, I could see Draymond giving Zion fits if they match up in the playoffs this year. I think you would agree with
I
that.
can respect that. I can respect you not just going flat out Draymond, because
Um,
that could have been a clip moment. Better or
so
worse than DeAndre Ayton.
Oh, he's better than Aiden. I don't like Aiden, man. That it's just like
I
the
know there's
guy
definitely some other people in your camp as well.
when it comes to consistency. Like, yeah, I think Aiton's got obviously the higher offensive ceiling, but he's just there's just something missing that just has not panned out. And so yeah, I Draymond Green.
No, fair take, fair take. I got two more names currently on the list, and well, might be reaching a bit here, but Better or worse than Bam Adebayo?
Nah, I'd go Bam. You're talking about two defensive
Nice.
players, two really good defenders, and that's like the one thing that calling card that Draymond has his advantage over everybody else. And now you're putting up against a really good one who's better offensively. I gotta go Bam. He's more complete.
Okay. This is just kind of a random off the wall one, but I'm just curious in terms of just players, values, whatnot. It's more of a psychological one. Better or worse than Chris Middleton? Basically, two completely different players.
Yeah, that is different. I gotta go Middleton though. I mean, you're talking about
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I would have loved, and now that we're done, I would have loved to. I, I don't know. That's what the point of the exercise is. If you'd have said like, "Oh, where do you put Draymond?" Like, I feel like he was hired, but then you start actually naming the names, and it's like, meh,
He starts coming a
eh.
little back down to
Yeah,
reality.
I can't.
Yeah.
I feel like I came back down a little bit, but yeah, we're definitely gonna have to do that in the off season because if you're talking about the core like completeness of a career, like I don't think that they win. They might win with KD, but they definitely don't come close without him the other years. So
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
fair enough.
I
But
just
yeah,
had to get the Draymond Green, just list out there. I really did. And that was
he's
honestly,
a
I thought it could have been worse. I thought you were going to take some people that I was going to have to really push back, but obviously this is going to be a conversation for another day. The Draymonds, the Rodmans, those type of players of the world.
yeah,
I know we have contradicting
some of
views
my
that
favorite
guests
players to
could help.
watch. Some of my
Yeah.
favorite players to watch. And there's not much. There's not many guys out there that I would rather watch in the playoffs than Draymond Green. He just does stupid stuff. He's entertaining, man. He does stupid stuff. And one of the guys that I think is more entertaining is on his team, so that helps. But
Yeah.
all right, let's do some who he played for because I've got some good ones, man. I've got some gems, man. I've
Yeah.
got some gems. So I'll kick it off, and I'm not giving you the draft year unless you specifically request it because it more than likely is going to give it away for knowing you. So um, all of these guys are still currently playing. Well, we'll get to that. I do have one guy who is technically not on the roster anymore, but all
Okay.
right, who he played for. Okay, this guy was drafted by Miami. Then he spent some time in Memphis, spent some time with the Clippers, and he has been with Portland since the Clippers.
So, okay, let me just get this straight. Spent some time Miami.
Yes. Then
You said
Memphis, Clippers,
Memphis.
and Portland.
Is it Norman Powell?
No, that's a great guess. Man, that's a good guess.
Yeah. Who is it?
This
It's
guy was,
not this.
I'll give you the draft year. He's been with Portland since 2021, and he's drafted in 2015. And we did him for who he played for last week.
Wait, so you use Justice Winslow?
Yeah, it's a different game.
Okay, well that I didn't think you were gonna use him. That's why I was like, I think it's Justice Winslow, but I guess Norman Powell. Like that was my initial thought.
It's
On
a different
God,
game. Why
like
can't I use Justice Winslow
I
then?
just
I
thought
wanted
we
to see
were
if I could
using
get you.
repeats. Well,
He's
all
the
right,
only
you
repeat
you
I have.
you got me. All right, you got me.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Fair enough.
I'll give it to you.
Because I was like, yeah, that lined up. But oh man, I kind of feel bad about what I did now in terms of just this is so his career started out. I gotta give you the draft years.
Oh
Um
gosh.
2008. Spent
Oh
3 years with the
gosh.
Spurs. Then he spent, I believe it's 5 seasons with the Pacers. That's probably gonna be your best hint from 2011 to 2016. Paul George
Okay.
type days, right? Was in Utah for a year. Then he was in the Kings for a year. Got traded to the Cavs in that year, and then the next season he stayed with the Cavs, but then got traded to the Bucks. and he has currently been on the Bucks. Actually, I lied. He was on the Bucks for that year, then went to the Thunder, and then the Sixers the next year, and that is now back with the Bucks for the past 2 seasons.
I am so lost. So drafted by San Antonio, spent 5 years, you said,
I
in
think if you
Indiana.
think you can get this one, if you really think about who's on the Bucks roster and is that old, and I think the Pacers hint really should help. Because
Oh,
Paul George took up one of those starting spots, and obviously verticality Roy
yes.
Hibbert.
Yeah, that's who was I was thinking of. And I know it's not him because I know he
We
was
I would
drafted by the
hope we do
Pacers.
not give Roy Hibbert a roster spot, nor David West.
Yeah, he's still in the who was the oh what was that guy's did he play for keep going after Indiana? What was that guy's name?
Okay, before Indiana it was the Spurs, just to give you
Yeah.
some more, right? And then for the next season after 16, he was with the Jazz, and then he went to the Kings and got traded to the Cavs. And then the next season from the Cavs, he was traded to the Bucks. And then he's with the Bucks for a year, signed with the Thunder, and got traded to the Sixers.
So he never
And
played
now
for the
he's
Lakers.
nope, he did not
So
play
it's
for the
not what
Lakers.
was that guy's name? The guy who would he blew in LeBron's ear. What was his I
Lance
can
Stevenson.
Yeah,
Lance
yeah.
Stevenson, yeah.
Oh,
Great
so
idea.
oh man. This is bad, man. 5 years with the Pacers. He's on the Bucks still. Does he play? Or is he just
Yeah.
on the bench? He
He's
plays.
our he's our one of our backups. Yep. He plays, yeah, every night.
See, the other guy that comes to mind is just random dude on the Bucks is Ibaka, but it's not. I don't think it's him.
No.
You said the Thunder, but not long enough with the Thunder.
No. Yeah.
Oh man, he was on the
He's
Sixers
Gabe.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give. You're gonna say this name, I'm gonna be so mad, but I give
Oh man, it was George Hill, point guard
George
with the
Hill.
Pacers.
Yeah, I don't think I was getting that. That's a really good one. That's a
That's
really good
fair.
one. That's
Very
that. I like obviously I know it, but like man, I didn't know he was with the Bucks. Need to watch more Bucks. I feel like he's been playing a
fair,
lot.
man. Fair.
Okay, all right. So this guy, we'll move on. This guy, well known for the team he was drafted for. That was his best stint. And he's kind of bounced around since, but he is 34 now. Okay.
Oh boy. This is getting irritating.
Okay. Been around a while. Okay. Drafted by the Clippers. Okay. He then was traded to Dallas. Then he signed with the Knicks. Then he signed with the Nets. And
Oh
he spent some
boy.
time with the Lakers. He was traded to the Lakers, sorry. Then he signed with the Sixers. And then this year he signed with the Nuggets. Drafted all the way back in 2008.
Contavious Caldwell Pope?
Wow, that's a great guess, but it's not right.
No
It's
way.
not right. Such a good guess.
Is it no, not DeAndre Jordan.
Is that your final answer?
Is it him?
It's
DeAndre
DeAndre
Jordan?
Jordan. That's
That's still like
impressive.
my second guess, but it was both those guys played for the Lakers, so that kind of tripped me up. I should have really thought about more about like the Clippers.
Yeah,
KCP
there's a
wasn't
couple
there.
teams in there. I do not remember him on the Sixers. I really don't. That was last season.
Jeez, yeah,
He's
that was
barely playing for the Nuggets this year. And then I don't remember him on the Knicks at all. I don't remember that
oh
at all.
wow. Yeah, he really did bounce around more than I thought.
Yeah, I just remembered Clippers, Dallas game. I kind of remember that, and then the Lakers and the Nets. But yeah,
Right, right. Well, here's what I got up to bat for you. Um, his career is a little bit easier to follow, in my opinion. He was drafted with the Thunder in 2011. and he was there until the 2014-15 season when he got traded to the Pistons. Then he was with the Pistons until the 2019-2020 season, and then he got traded with the Clippers and is still with them to this day. Who he played for?
So Thunder, Pistons, Clippers. Man, the guys when you play this game, it's crazy the names that come to your mind that are just
I think
aren't
you can
right.
get it though.
No, I think I'm not giving up yet, but like the first guy that came to my mind was like Nicholas Batum, and I know that's not right, but it's like you think of random dudes on the Clippers right now. That's what comes.
Tracks. It does.
All right, Clippers, Thunder players on the Clippers. What was he better known first time with the Thunder or the Pistons?
Better known with the Thunder. I would say, to be honest, that was his least role was with the Thunder. He's gotten better as a player.
All right.
I think that was a major hint.
Yeah, it's Reggie Jackson, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it feels good to get one. It feels really good.
Yeah. He was back on the Thunder. I was not.
I guess he did play in Detroit.
Right. It was like a Brandon Jennings type tenure.
Well, I was trying to remember the
kind of fell off a bit.
So the other guy I thought it was Campaign. And I was like, because he was the backup for Russ. And I don't know. I always default to a big man when we play this game because I feel like they're harder. But yeah, that's a good one.
Fair.
I'm glad I got one. All right.
Yeah.
So this guy, I'd be shocked if you get this one, man.
I actually don't have another. I only had two. So
okay. All right. That's fine.
I'm curious.
But this guy, okay. I can't give you the year because you will get it correct if I give you the year. So, and he is no longer on a roster. But the last team I say he appeared in 12 games last season for and was cut 3 days before the season opener for that same team this year. Okay.
Okay.
So who he played for, he was drafted by Milwaukee. He was then, well, let me pull it up so I can see traded and signed and the difference. All right. He was then traded to the Bulls, then signed with the Wizards, where he was traded to the Hawks, then signed with the Kings, spent 2 years there. And then in 2020, he signed with the Celtics, played 12 games, played 10 games in 2020, played 12 games in 2021. And now this year, as I said, he was cut 3 days before.
Jabari Parker?
Are you kidding me?
I actually was kind of pressed for a bit. I was like, whoa. But then I kept thinking about the year. I'm like, the year mattered. It wasn't Andrew.
Oh, yeah. Because if I'd have told you 2014, you'd have been like, I shouldn't have even said that the year mattered because that
is what kind of
gave it away. Because if I'd have told you, oh, you're drafted by the Bucks in 2014, you'd be like, Jabari Parker. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to get a Bucks player by it. Any sort of year. And then dang it, man. Dang. I felt good about that one.
That was good. That was a good one. Jabari Parker. Wow.
The man's an encyclopedia. I'll be honest. I don't remember him. I barely remember him on Chicago. Bless you.
Thanks.
It was like after Milwaukee, I don't remember. He was in Chicago last in 2018. So like I don't played 20 games for Boston in 2 years. So
he was all right.
So thought I was gonna get you on a Bucks player. One of these days I'll sneak one by you. One of these days.
It's coming. It's coming for sure.
One of these days. I have a couple guys in mind that I have yet to dig deep for. So
love it.
Yeah. All right. So as always, we need to do Thursday Night Football before we close. Raiders are playing the Rams.
Raiders.
Taking the Raiders.
Raiders playoff push. Here we go.
Hey, division championship push.
Maybe, but
just saying.
Not going to take out the Chiefs. Playoff push, though.
Won't happen.
Love it.
But as always, guys, thanks for listening. Be sure to check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, the whole shebang. as always, send in suggestions, share the show with your friends, give us ideas, new segments, and even send in some players for who we play for to see if you can stump Christian because
Oh, yeah.
I need some help. So if you have any good ideas, some some fan, I got what would we call that? I don't know, but if you have
And mail,
anything,
I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
fan suggestions to stump Christian and who he played for or who he played for guys we haven't done, DM us on Instagram. And yeah, as always, we'll be back Thursday, favorite day of the week, obviously, for NFL predictions. And we're getting close to the playoffs, man. Getting close to the playoffs. So I'm getting excited. And
No
just a
doubt.
spoiler, we are still tied for total picks. We
How that
both got
happened, I'll never
Sunday
know.
and Monday correct. So we might end up the year tied at this point. And you know what? More power to you. So
Chargers sink, baby.
yeah. um, as always, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you guys Thursday.
Take care.